104.1, he's bringing the heat. Demetrius Johnson. True conversation about St. Louis sports, politics, education, the streets, and music. Demetrius Johnson. He's bringing you news from SLU to Mizzou, home of the Cardinals, the Rams, and the Blues. Demetrius Johnson. Rewarding big-time players, making big-time plays. Who's shining on the football field, who's shooting them J's. Demetrius Johnson. Keeping it 100 with the big fella, just like me. He's a true STLer. Demetrius Johnson. Looking out for the community and the kids. It's the big fella, man, you know who he is. Demetrius Johnson. So hot, so hot. You're now so in tune with the sound of Big Lang. So and the show starts now. So hot. Demetrius Johnson.
You went there with the big fella. I told you not to go there with the big fella. You went there with the big fella. Oh, big fella, don't hurt him.
Good morning. Welcome to the Demetrius Johnson Show, the big fella. The coach.
This is the coach, JC.
And the Hurricane. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing? Happy New Year to you, gentlemen, man. What's going on, man?
Happy New Year, guys.
Hey, man, we're going to talk about the New Year's, what we did, what you didn't do, what I'm going to tolerate this year coming up at the end of the show, what I'm not going to tolerate. I make my New Year's resolution every year, man. And this year I'm really I'm going to stand to it. I'm going to stay to it this time. I'm going to be disciplined.
Yeah, that's what you said last year.
That's true. I started eating all the candy again. So I'm going to be disciplined this year, though, man. I really am. I'm just tired of not being disciplined, man. Hey, man, I had a good time Christmas, New Year's Eve. Hey, Jeff, what did you do on New Year's Eve, man?
Nothing.
What about you, Coach?
I just stayed at home and watched football, man.
You know what, man? That's what all I did, man. I hung out with the kids, man. And that was cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Didn't want to do anything and just chill, man. On this virus stuff is for real, man. And I don't think people are taking this stuff serious, but they got to take it serious, man. Because, hey, Jeff, in fact, the county is opening stuff up again. What's that all about?
Yeah, so I've been watching the numbers. They were kind of in the St. Louis City, St. Louis County. They were going down. They've kind of ticked up since Christmas, but I don't know if you could call it a surge, but it has ticked up. What I worry about is with all this talk of the vaccination, that people are going to let their guard down and think, okay, this thing is over. We got to just maybe another month or two just keep doing what we're supposed to be doing because, until Christmas we were headed in the right direction. And, again, it got a little worse after Christmas, but I don't know that it's a surge.
I don't know, man. I mean, they saying a new strand's coming in and all that good stuff. I don't know, man. Kind of concerning to me for sure. For us to assume it's nothing going on and it's, take it kind of cavalier. I can't do that, man. It's scary.
Well, DJ, that's something else we don't talk about as much. Some people have already had it and they don't care.
Exactly.
I still say there's a fraction of people out there that don't care either way. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. They're going to keep gathering. I mean, they're showing it.
I'm going to tell you this. I've had it, so I know it's real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I had that virus, folks. I know that I know it's real. So I'm not going to play with that. You know what I'm saying?
But when I say that, I'm saying they know it's real, but they've had it. So they go back to doing normal things because they think they can't get it again. It's a group of people out there like that.
Yeah, I can tell you.
They don't care about other people. They think they're asymptomatic, and I'm gonna be all right.
I can tell you who ain't gonna be like that. You talking to him? I'm telling you what, because I had it the first time. I don't want to go back down that road again, man. It wasn't no very nice feeling, man. I'm telling you, it was not a nice feeling at all. So, man, let's go ahead and get this party started, man. Let me bring my boy in the conversation with us, my man, Big Mike. What up, Big Mike? Happy New Year's to you.
Hey, what's up, DJ Blue Tiger Pride, baby? Happy New Year's to everybody.
For life, big dog, for life.
Yes, sir. College football and college basketball.
Let's go.
Hey, national championship, Ohio State playing Alabama, man. I think this game going to be a lot better than what people think.
Let me just say this, Mike. I'm still disappointed that Ohio State did something for me that I can appreciate. They beat the brakes off of that Clemson. I cannot stand that dude, that Dabo Swinney.
Yeah,
I think he
Dabo
is
said
a
they shouldn't
joke.
be in the playoffs.
He is a joke, okay?
Yep.
And he's a racist. He's all the stuff you talking about. All right, but let me ask you this question. Ohio State, I don't care how bad, well, they did me a favor and beat the brakes off of them, but they should have never been in there. Ohio State should not have been in that game, man. Under no circumstances. How you going to go in the game? You ain't playing number 4 or 5 games.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody else done played 10, 11 games. That's a joke, man. That's a joke.
But the main one should have kept his mouth closed was Dabo Swinney because they sure put it on him, man.
Oh, they smacked him.
49-28.
Smacked him around. I'm going to tell y'all something. They always want to boost up that quarterback. I'm telling you, this is my take. I might be wrong, and some people can argue it. I think he's overrated big time. I really do.
Hey, let me say this. If Devontae Smith does not get the Heisman, it's a travesty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no doubt about it.
If he does not get the Heisman,
Yeah.
it's a travesty.
The last receiver got it was your boy out of Michigan? Yeah, what's his name?
I think
Hey, DJ, did they already vote, or do they vote after all the games are over?
No, they'll vote Tuesday. I mean, the voters, they know who won. But they ain't going to let us know until Tuesday.
Right.
So the vote will not have reflected the games that happened Friday.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It may have some. I mean, they may be able to come back and make a change. I don't know. I don't know when it's official.
I don't know. I think the voting has ended, but if he doesn't get it, it's a travesty, man.
Oh yeah, man, he's a real deal.
Yeah, to get the AP Player of the Year as a receiver, I don't know how many years.
He is the freaking real deal, man. I mean, is he better than the other receiver out of Alabama who got hurt?
Huh?
What's the other receiver name, D?
Waddle.
Waddle. Is he better than Waddle?
Yeah, they're two different kind of guys, D.
Because Waddle was a real deal, man.
Yeah, Waddle is a speed guy, punt returner. He can kind of do it all. This guy is a route runner, man, and he gets open.
He catch that rock, dude. He catch that rock. I'm telling you, I was so happy, man. It made my New Year's. So thank you, Ohio State. Now you still shouldn't be there.
Hey, DJ, let me ask you a question about that football game.
Yep.
So you guys played, and football is a violent sport, and it beats you up, it wears you out. I mean, didn't Ohio State have a major advantage playing half as many games? I know maybe they weren't as sharp.
That's why I'm telling you they shouldn't have been there. That's why I'm telling you.
Today, the Pittsburgh Steelers have a game. They're going to rest all their players because they believe that rest is more important than playing.
Okay. They don't want nobody getting injured.
It seems like Ohio State had a major advantage only playing half as many games and being half as beat up.
I agree. We're on the same point. That's why I'm saying they should have never been in the freaking Final Four. They didn't even play. Yeah. They should have had a minimum of 8-9 games like everybody else.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, D. But I think after this game, this past week, ain't no advantages. That game was a physical game. They was knocking the heads out of each other.
I understand that, but still, it is an advantage because you can see the difference in the legs, JC. You play ball, you know that. Your team.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you're not right. I'm saying in that game, that was not the factor, though. I don't think that was
it is a factor. Hey,
JC,
it ain't gonna never not be the factor when you've been beat up all year. When you play, how can you say that, Coach? And you're coach.
They beat Clemson because Clemson was beat up.
I'm telling you what, they had better legs than Clemson. You can see that.
Okay.
You can see that they have more energy than Clemson.
Let me tell you this. They say Alabama, who played 13 games, you go see who got the better legs.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They may have an advantage to beat Alabama. They may have an advantage.
We'll see. We're going to see.
You know what I'm saying? Now, and Nick Saban, but when you talk about Nick Saban, that's a totally different animal there now. I mean, that's a totally different coach there, baby. You know what I'm
Because I
saying?
don't want to let my thing is I don't want to let Clemson off the hook. They beat Clemson. So
No,
they
but
beat
nobody's
their
not
ass.
saying they didn't beat them to like a drum. I'm saying they shouldn't have been in the damn playoffs, beating Clemson or not. That's what I'm saying because it ain't fair. JC, you play 4 games, I play 10 games. You gonna tell me you don't have an advantage? You're a
I'm not
coach.
saying, DJ, I'm not saying that.
I'm not
just
taking, but
saying
we're
I
not
don't
taking
think
away.
that's in that game.
We're not taking away. What I'm not taking away is how they devastated them and beat them up. I'm not taking that away. I mean,
Hey, look, I don't know if Notre Dame should have been in it.
no, I mean, I can't stand that coach. You know, I can't stand that Notre Dame coach. That's another different.
Hey, you know, the other thing I found remarkable about that game is Clemson's middle linebacker. How he ever got into college is beyond me because 2 straight games in the playoffs, he gets kicked out for using his helmet to make a tackle. I mean, what a dope.
Yeah, that was stupid, man.
I don't like that rule.
Yeah, you don't like the rule?
Hey, man.
I don't think you should get kicked out.
Man, that dude put his head in the back of that dude back.
I mean, if he had hit him on the spleen or something, he could have sent him to the hospital.
Right, he put his head right in that dude's back. I mean, yeah, and then injury, man. Yeah, I mean, hey, JC, both of us gotten beat up when we played ball. So, you know, they got to keep that head up.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just don't know if he should be put out the game.
So he should be able to play.
Because it's a dejected call. I've seen guys that didn't do it, and they were put out unfairly.
We agree.
Put out unfairly.
It is subjective.
Yeah.
It is
So
subjective.
they got to be consistent with the call. That's all I'm saying.
But let me tell you,
guys,
that wasn't subjective. That was actual.
Oh no!
I mean, that dude
doubt
hit that
about
dude
it. No doubt about it. Because I've seen offensive players, DJ, lower their head.
Somebody say turn my volume up some more. Hey, okay. Let's do this. What else we got, Big Mike?
Hey, yeah, look, and on top of that, you got to watch out for himself. You know that linebacker for Pittsburgh used his head to hit somebody, and he was paralyzed for a while.
Exactly. Yeah. That
so
safety. Was it a
now,
safety? Was that a safety or linebacker?
That was linebacker Desir.
Okay, yeah, it sure did.
Yeah. Hey, man, look at some of the stats, though. Justin Fields, 22 of 28, 385 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception. My man, Jameson Williams from Cardinal Ritter, DJ, who I tell you was the smoothest athlete I see come out of his area. He had 3 catches for 62 yards and had a fat 45-yard touchdown catch.
Isn't that nice, man, to see these kids go off to college and be successful, man?
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's just so nice to see that, man. These kids go out and do their thing, man. It's just a blessing to see that, man.
Yeah.
The kid from Notre Dame played hard.
Yeah, I like him. I like the little running back from Notre Dame, man.
Yeah, he played hard.
What he's out of Vianney?
Yeah.
Man, that Najee Harris.
Yeah,
oh,
I mean,
man.
he's nice, man. It's just good. When you see these kids grow up and go out and do their thing, man, it's just a blessing, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Hey, number 5, Texas A&M beat number 13, North Carolina, 41-27. Texas A&M freshman running back Devon Aching, 12 carries, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. DJ, track guy, got the state record in the 200 meters, 20.46.
What was that white coach?
5A
What's the white
state
coach that didn't want nobody to run track? What was that dude's name, JC?
Nixon.
Richard Nixon.
Not the president.
Right. He didn't want no kid running track. Boo.
Yeah. Hey, look, Arizona Bowl. Ball State beat number 22, San Jose State, 34-13. Former Kirkwood High football player Antonio Phillips. DJ had a fat 50-yard pick six. That's
what I'm talking about. These St. Louis kids are ballers, man.
Yeah. Hey, college basketball, number 12, Mizzou beat Arkansas 81-68. East St. Louis, Jeremiah Tillman, 25 points, 11 rebounds. And DJ, you'll like this one. Number 8, Texas beat number 3, Kansas, 84-59. Webster Groves, Courtney Ramey, 18 points.
The high. Can I tell y'all something, man? Conzo Martin has done a great job coaching this year, folks. He ain't getting the love that he should. He's done a great job. I'm going to tell you something. For him to turn that Tillman around, Jeremiah Tillman, dude, he got to be a miracle worker. I mean, he could probably make water to wine. I'm telling you what, he's divine. That Tillman kid used to foul out every freaking game. And then he get 3 or 4 fouls in the first 2 minutes of the game. Man, he had the first 14 points in that game. He was balling, man. He was balling.
Yep. Yeah, number 15, Illinois beat Purdue 66-58. But DJ, I knew you would like that old Texas smashing your Kansas.
Hey, man, I loved it, man. I can't stand the Jayhawks. I mean, I can't stand that dude's so overrated. Bill Self getting the tournament every year, and he's good. That's what they do to that clown.
Right.
He's good.
Yeah.
Big Mike, they want their cut. What can they go, Playboy?
Hey, Grand Center Barbershop, baby, 3315 Olive, 531-2838, Harley from anywhere. Right on DJ Blue Tiger Pride.
For life, big dog, for life. Hey, man, for whatever reason, some people say they can't hear me, Harley. D, what's going on? Well, I'm getting people. What people saying they can't hear for it, man? I have no idea. Here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, JC got disconnected. Just tell him to call back. I don't know. I have no idea. All right, well, what do you think I'm doing, man? This dude act like, hey, man, this dude didn't tell me how to, hey, Jeff, he act like this is my first time on the show, man. He back and tell me, man.
It does seem that way sometimes when it comes to the technology.
Well, that is true. My technology is terrible. Hey, man, well, let me kind of tell y'all what we got coming up. We got my man Anthony McPherson coming up with the transplant over there off of Forest Park, right over in that area, about Forest Park Junior College. I'm going to tell you, man, I went over there and visit them. Oh, man. And that's something that we need to talk about coming into the new year, how black folks got to be more conscientious on being able to donate organs, and sometimes I guess when you say you want to donate organs, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. We all going to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? It is going to happen. Ain't nobody going to walk away from this thing unscathed. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to happen. So we need to just be smart and try to be more understanding on how important organ donations are, man. Because we don't.
And you're talking about, do we do it now through our driver's licenses? Is that how we do it?
Yeah, that's how they've always done it, And I'm gonna get him on shortly. We're gonna talk about that because when I went over there and I visit the facility, can I tell y'all something? It was unbelievable. It was amazing to see the work they do, and they don't charge these families. The families come in there, no, it's not charged anything, Jeff. And then, guess what, man? I'm going to have my man Coach Drinkowitz on this morning. And guess what? The voice, one of the voices of the St. Louis Cardinals baseball, my boy, Mike Claiborne, he's going to be joining us. I got some questions to ask him because they didn't sign my man, the second baseman. What was the second baseman's name?
Wong.
I don't understand why they got rid of Colton Wong. I really don't. I mean, this guy was a great player.
I can tell you why, because he cost too much for the return. They still might sign him, but they didn't want to pay him as much as. And I have no idea whether that was a good decision or a bad decision, but it was about money.
Hey, man, we got a caller. Let's see who we got on the phone before we get out of here. Hello, caller, you on the air?
Hey, DJ, this is Anthony McPherson with Mid-America Transplant.
Good. Let's get ready. Let's get down, Anthony. How you doing, man?
I'm great. How about you?
Tell everybody who you are and where you are and what you do.
My name is Reverend Anthony McPherson. I'm the Community Engagement Liaison with Mid-America Transplant. In my role, I try to educate the community about the importance of organ donation and raise awareness for it. Mid-America Transplant is one of 58 federally designated OPOs, which are organ procurement organizations, and we act as essentially the middle ground, the middle organization to make sure that those who are in need of organs get them. We also work with donor families, so those families who have whose loved ones have become organ donors. We try to work with those families to continue to reach out to them to see how they're doing and to provide whatever or hook them up with whatever grief counseling they may be in need of. Again, there's over 114,000 people across the U.S. that are waiting for an organ, be it a heart, a kidney, be it even nerves or some sort of tissue. to make sure that those people get what they need. Right here in St. Louis, there's about 1,200 people that are on that waiting list. 950 of that 1,200 here in St. Louis are waiting for a kidney. And of that 950 waiting for a kidney, 400 roughly look like you and me, DJ.
Wow.
So kidneys are the most requested organ.
Wow.
And you know that we as African Americans, we are at the top of the list as far as heart disease, diabetes, all of those things, which impact our organs eventually. So while we are, again, there's probably about 400 African Americans that are waiting for kidneys right here in St. Louis. The need is critical. And so while anyone can be an organ donor, quite frankly, if I'm waiting for a kidney, while I can get it for anyone, as long as they're healthy and we have the same blood type, I have a better chance of that kidney, my body not rejecting that kidney if it comes from another African American.
Oh, wow. We're speaking with Anthony McPherson. He's with the Mid-American Transplant that's located here in St. Louis. Hey, Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, when it comes to kidneys, unlike some like heart, lungs, other things, when it comes to kidneys, like I could give a kidney, right? Do we only need one healthy kidney? Is that right?
Correct. So you can do. So we ourselves don't do. That's called a living donation. So if you wanted to donate a kidney to me, you would go to your doctor, and make sure that you're healthy, so that even after that you donate that kidney, you can still continue to function. And then through the Barnes and SLU both have kidney programs, and so they would then try to match up and work out that living donation. But Mid-America Transplant, we handle deceased donations, so individuals who have passed, making sure that their kidneys are then or organs are passed on.
We're speaking with Anthony
Yes, you only
McPherson
need one
with the
kidney.
Mid-American Transplant. Go ahead. What you say, Jeff?
But yes, you only need one
so
kidney.
I got two related questions as far as people signing their driver's license or the objections that I've heard. One is, while I feel like once I'm gone, I'm gone. You can do with my body whatever you want. Are there any religious objections to people who don't think that they should do it? And then secondly, there are people who are like, if I sign that, I wonder if they'll pull the plug a little early so they can get my organs. What do you say to people who, have objections to talk them into it?
So there are all of the major religions here in the U.S. believe that organ donation is the final act of love and generosity. So there aren't any objections in their sacred text. Now, there are concerns that they may have about how things are handled during that process. But overall, as far as there's nothing against organ donation in the sacred text for all the major religions here in the U.S. So, as far as then the other one about people being concerned about if they're going to not receive adequate health care, they will. Most of the time, the doctor is not going to even, those working in the surgery don't even see your driver's license, so they don't know whether or not you're an organ donor. Those who are on that waiting list, as well as those individuals who have become donors, who have signed up to be on the donor registry, that's a closed list, so people don't have access to see that. And if you want to be an organ donor, but you don't want to have it on your license, you can still sign up and just not have that emblem on your license.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. That's interesting. We speak with Anthony McPherson. He's with the Mid-American Transplant here in St. Louis. And the thing that I was really impressed with, we're about to get up out of here, Anthony, but the thing I was really impressed with is how you guys, it's all free to these families pretty much. You live them, you put them up. You got 30 seconds to tell me real quick about putting them up and give information how they can reach you.
So, our family house, it works with those families who are waiting to receive it, who are receiving an organ at a very, very low cost. We put them up in one of our spaces so they can recover. And so it's just really important that we want everyone to join the registry, but at least have a conversation. Let your loved ones know your decision to either join the registry or not, because it's already a very painful time in that moment anyway. So take some of the burden off and have a conversation now, what your wishes are. If you want to be kept on life support or not, be resuscitated or not, have the discussion now while you're able to with your loved ones.
Hey, Anthony, give everybody information how to reach you.
Yes, 314-735-8200.
Once again,
314-735-8200.
Hey, Anthony, it's always good talking to you, man. I look forward to coming over and really spending some time with you. Thank you for joining us this morning. Appreciate it. The big fella, Demetrius Johnson, the Hurricane, and the coach. We'll be right back.
More of the Demetrius Johnson Show is coming up in minutes. Got an opinion? Call us at 314-969-1041. This is Hot 104.1.
Have you or someone you know been impacted by COVID-19 and seeking quality childcare? Let the YWCA assist. We are looking for children between the ages of 3 to 5 years of age to join the rich tradition of the Head Start program. Since 1965, Head Start has been helping all children, including those with special needs, actively learn and develop skills for a lifetime of success. We offer year-round, half-day, and full-day options for enrollment. Don't delay. Call today, 314-427-4940. There are smaller class sizes and extended hours available. Transportation is available on a limited basis, and all YWCA centers are accessible by local public transportation services. Call today, 314-427-4940. That's 314-427-4940.
2020 has been a rough year for many of us, leaving many of us with not much to celebrate. Money might be tight for many, and Metropon wants to help you out. With gold being at an all-time high, they are paying the highest prices in St. Louis no matter the condition. Do you need Christmas gifts for the family? Metropon has it all. Jewelry, gaming systems, tools, music instruments, and more. They even have someone on site that can make custom one-of-a-kind pieces. Let Elton the Iceman hook you up like he has many St. Louis celebrities. Metropon also offers first month interest-free pawn to all new customers. Metropon is your one-stop holiday shop. Check them out at 8286 St. Charles Rock Road or call them at 428-3810. Metropon can fulfill all your holiday needs and wants to make sure you and your family have a happy holiday.
Donations to the Tree of Hope support the areas of greatest need at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Go to glennon.org and let them know 1041 told you the Tree of Hope needs your help. Join 1041 and give the gift of hope today at glennon.org.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick Weight Loss Hypnosis Seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds. And we feel great.
Join Mark Patrick's Hypnosis Seminar and lose the weight, stop smoking, or end anxiety for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online, live Saturday, January 16th for the St. Louis area. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Have you been charged with a crime in St. Louis County? If so, you need to call the law office of Evelyn Lewis. Evelyn Lewis is now in Clayton, a block away from the St. Louis County Courthouse and the County Justice Center. In St. Louis County, the dockets are massive. The courtrooms are full of people who are facing criminal charges, people who are afraid, people who are in trouble, people who need help. Listen, maybe you've made mistakes in your life. Maybe you've been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe you've got caught up with the wrong people. Whatever your case may be, Evelyn wants to hear from you. Evelyn wants to know your story. Felonies, misdemeanors, probation violations, even in traffic cases. The number to call is 531-1000. That's 531-1000. Attorney Evelyn Lewis, fighting for you in St. Louis County. Payment plans are available.
Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Now back to the Demetrius Johnson Show on Hot 104.1.
Welcome back to the Demetrius Johnson, the big fella, the hurricane, and the coach. Hey, man, folks, I'm really pumped up now, man. I got my cat, my man, the head football coach at the University of Missouri, my man, Coach Drink. I'm drinking a drink with Drink, man. What up, Coach?
Hey, it's too early in the morning to be drinking a drink, man.
Hey, man, anytime I get you, big dog, I'm going to drink that drink with you.
How you? Oh, man.
How you doing?
In St. Louis? I'm doing good, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's to you and all that good stuff, man. Let me just say this. Great season, man. I know you probably weren't satisfied. I know you thought you could win a few more, and you felt that way. But, I mean, great season, man. Great season.
Yeah, you know, having a chance to really look back and reflect on it, we did a lot of really good things. You know, obviously we won some games that people probably didn't expect us to win, and we lost a couple of games that people thought, or at least one game people thought we probably should have won. So, you know, I think there was some good and the bad, but there's a lot of things that we can grow on. You know, 5-5 in an all SEC game and all SEC schedule is pretty stinking good. I think it was 6 in the conference. We got 14 teams in our conference. We finished in the top 6. So I think we got a lot of things to be proud of, a lot of things to build on. I'm really excited about what we've done as far as recruiting St. Louis and recruiting this state. And I think that, for me, is the biggest excitement piece for us moving forward.
We speak with the head football coach at the University of Missouri, Coach Drinkowitz. Coach, we had some of your kids come on who signed. We just dedicated the whole dang the first hour to the Mizzou recruits. What has been the difference on you recruiting St. Louis than what has happened in the past at the University of Missouri?
You know, I think it's just a commitment level. You know, I think as college recruiters, sometimes we get caught up in, well, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that, he doesn't have this. I just told our staff, what does he have? And if he has a ability to help us win the SEC, we need to make sure he's a Tiger. And, you know, really, I tell you what, just to be honest, it's really frustrating to watch these teams in these BCS bowl games or whatever we call them these days, college football playoffs, and see kids from St. Louis playing for other teams. You know, now, I'm not saying we're a perfect fit for everybody, but golly, man, if all those guys would play for Mizzou, we'd have a super team. They wouldn't be talking about the Lakers, man. They'd be talking about the Mizzou Tigers.
No doubt about it.
You know, having the super squad. So that's really the goal and the vision right now. And there's still a few guys out there. I know we've made some really big inroads in this 22 class, and we're trying to form the dream team, man.
I know. I mean, it's getting close. JC, you got a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. Happy New Year to you, Coach.
Happy New Year, my man.
Question for you. You talked about recruiting. You know, you're hearing all these new things about recruiting. So talk about it a little bit during the pandemic. Can you have kids on campus? How are you recruiting? How has that changed since we've been in the pandemic?
Yeah, I tell you what, that's been the biggest adjustment. We are not allowed to have any in-person contact. In fact, you know, we're not even allowed to have these young men on campus. And so that really puts a damper in our recruiting efforts because, man, we got a great campus and we got a great facility and set up and fixing to build another, or not another, but a brand new indoor. So there's a commitment there that we want people to see. But because of that, we're having to use virtual tours, Zoom calls. Those are the ways that we're really trying to connect. Now, as of right now, the NCAA is saying in April they're going to reopen up. And I think it's probably dependent upon how this vaccine rolls out and how well we can get this virus under control in the next 4 months. But we're hopeful that this summer looks a little bit more normal in recruiting and we can get guys on campus.
Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, it seems like every year the same 2, 3, or 4 teams make it to the playoffs. And in the NFL, if you win the Super Bowl, you draft last in the ensuing draft. Do you ever see a day, or should there be a day, where the teams that make the Final Four have some sort of restriction that would allow more teams to compete for the national championship like they do in the NFL?
Well, I think the only restriction is I got to do a better job of shutting out some of these schools from coming into St. Louis and getting the great players. Because if I can do that, or if we could do that, then I think we could eliminate, not eliminate, but give ourselves a chance, put us in a chance to elevate our level of play to win. I mean, I think that's going to be the biggest key. I don't think there'll ever be a way to limit it, just because of the educational aspect tied to it, and as long as it's still tied to an amateur model, it's gonna be those same schools. What I got to do is I got to convince some of these young men that you don't have to go there and be the next. Come here and be the first. Come here and be the first group of people to lead Mizzou to a national championship or a New Year's Six playoff game or to a national championship game. Come be the first Heisman Trophy winner at Mizzou. I mean, to me, that's a legacy worth really fighting for and really being involved in. And we've got glimpses. I mean, we've had some really outstanding players here in the past, but we got to get a collection of those outstanding players. I don't think it's necessarily the whole team. I think it's just quality depth. I've got to do a better job of developing the whole roster. And then obviously there are some elite players out there that, boy, I sure wish they were on our team. And those 22s that are listening right now, or 22 parents that are listening right now, don't go somewhere else and be the next. You're seeing a lot of teams have transfers because guys don't want to wait to play and do those kind of things. Come here, be the first.
We're speaking with the head coach of the University of Missouri, Coach Drinkowitz, football coach. Coach, let me ask you a question. That was interesting when you talk about young men who don't have the patience anymore because they have the ability to transfer. How do you bring kids in from our local area and you already have a superstar playing, a great player playing in front of them? How do you convince them to stay patient and they're going to get their chance? Because now everything is quick gratification. How do you change that?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. I think, one, you got to figure out what type of person the player is. But, man, not everything in life is instant gratification. I mean, most things in life take time to build a foundation. You can look at Kyle Trask. You can look at Kyle Pitts. You can look at, some of the Mac Jones. You can even look at Devontae Smith, who's fixing to win the Heisman last year. He was behind Henry Ruggs and the other wide receiver that went to the Falcons, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, there's all kinds of time where, as long as you're developing, as long as you're still becoming the best version of yourself, I think you owe it to yourself to develop and wait for your opportunity. Sometimes it's about forming the character so that when you do get your opportunity, you can sustain success. Too many times in life, we want to be the young gun. And look, I'm pretty young, and I've been blessed to achieve some things. But you have to have the character to sustain it, because it's not always going to be perfect. No matter how talented you are, you're going to face adversity at some point, and you've got to have the character to face it and overcome it. So I would just say, I'd point to the experiences of others and say, hey, you got a great situation. You're going to get a great education. You're growing. You love your teammates. Just wait for your opportunity.
Speaking with the head football coach at the University of Missouri, Coach Drinkowitz. JC, go ahead.
Coach, if I'm a young man and I want to get recruited by the University of Missouri, what is the University of Missouri looking for, whether it's on or off the field?
Yeah, we're looking for, first and foremost, do they have the character that we can trust that they're not going to bring any type of embarrassment to the university? Do they surround themselves with the right kind of people off the field? And do they do the right kind of things in the classroom? I mean, I think anytime you're going to make, a $600,000 investment into a young man, you need to make sure that they have the right stuff to handle that kind of investment, because that's what it is. They're going to get unbelievable opportunities, and they just need to understand that it's not about being entitled. It's about continuing to work every day to earn them. And then the second thing, from an on-the-field standpoint, is when you watch Ohio State play Alabama, can you help us beat those two teams? And not through your parents' glasses, not through the parents' vision, not through players' confidence vision, through the reality of, can you help us beat those teams? Do you have those elite abilities? Because that's the reality. I mean, that's what I'm dreaming of doing here is I want to be able to beat Alabama and Ohio State someday. And we're not there yet. I mean, I think we played Alabama 38-19. So we got a ways to go. I got to close that gap. But in order to do that, I got to recruit some great players.
We're speaking with the head football coach at the University of Missouri. And one thing you did say, Coach, is surrounding yourself and the people, your character, people that you're around. That's me. That's JC. That's Jeff. We all got to be that way. So when people are out with me and around me, you got to have right character and represent not only yourself, but you got to represent me when we got a reputation out in this community. That's what people don't understand. When I hear people say this, Coach, and Jeff, I'll come to you in a second. When I hear people say this, it don't matter what people think about me, that's some bull crap.
Yeah.
Bull crap. It does matter what people say. And if people run around and saying that, you don't need to be with them. And that's real. Because it does matter what people say about you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, I think you're seeing examples in the NFL right now, and I'm not trying to disparage the Washington quarterback at all, but, he got caught up in a situation where, he thought he was bigger than maybe, well, it's okay, I can do this, I can post this stuff on social media. Well, money doesn't change the fact that people are investing in you, and at some point in a business, you have to decide if it's worth the investment. And, I saw this the other day too, and this is a point that I made to my team. People always talk about, I'm gonna opt out and train for the NFL. I'm gonna opt out and train for the NFL. What in the world are you doing the first day you step on campus? Like, why would you need to stop doing what you're doing right now to focus on training in the NFL?
JC and I said that, Coach.
You're playing football.
JC and I said that.
There's no reason to have to stop what you're doing. If you don't want to play because of risky injury, I get that. Right. But, man, do not tell me you're going to go focus on training for the NFL. You ought to be training every single day you're on college for the NFL.
And that's ridiculous. JC and I had that conversation the other day. I mean, it's selfish to me. I mean, you think one game – I have never heard an Alabama player sitting out. Am I right, D? Have an Alabama player ever sit out? Those guys don't sit out them big-time programs. They going to show up and play. I mean, you can get hurt walking down the street. Hey, Jeff, go ahead. You got a question.
Yeah, I have a two-part COVID question. First, how do you think the SEC handled COVID this year compared to the other conferences? And the second part is Ohio State got into the playoff playing half as many games, and it seems to me as a fan, not as an expert, but as a fan, they sure looked fresher and had fresher legs and had a major advantage. Do you think they should have been in playing so few games?
Well, I first would say that Greg Sankey, our commissioner, did an outstanding job of guiding us through the unknowns of this pandemic, and I think we did as good as anybody. Now, did we have some cancellations? Yeah, but I think we ended up, the stat was we played 68 or 69 out of the scheduled 72 games, which I think is pretty impressive. We obviously were very competitive. I think we finished 6-2 in the bowl games with the team that's going to play in the national championship game. So, from a standpoint of that and then player safety, so far we've not had any serious incidents with players and long-term effects or staff with COVID. So I think all those things are a huge positive. As far as the Ohio State, I mean, I think at the end of the day, college football is about trying to get the best two teams in the championship, and I think we've done that. I do think Ohio State and Alabama are the two best teams. I do think they obviously missed on not putting A&M in there, but I will say, do I think it's an advantage? Yeah. I mean, Alabama's going to be going on, I think, on its 14th game, or maybe not. Maybe it's the 12th or 13th game, and you're going to be talking about Ohio State's going to be playing Game 7. I think there's a toll on your body that it takes. I mean, obviously JC and DJ could speak to this too, but there's a toll that the season takes on your body, and if you've only been hit in 8 games instead of 13 games, that's a big difference. And it'll be interesting to see how that matches up because, again, Alabama didn't miss a game all year, and I'm not sure how that will affect them having to gear up another game. Obviously, Ohio State's a really good football team, and I know Coach Saban will have his guys prepared, but physically it'll be interesting to see how that matches up.
Speak with the head football coach at the University of Missouri, Coach Drink. And, Coach, before we let you out of here, man, let me commend you for allowing your team to go home through Thanksgiving. I know there were some folks who made some statements about it. Hey, man, but these kids are kids, man. I mean, it was a very difficult time for them, very sensitive, And for people to think that, and think about this, Jeff. There are some teams who didn't let their player go home, and they still got the virus. There's teams that let them go home and didn't have the virus. I mean, it was just almost like a roll of the dice that can happen to you. So I'm telling you, I support your decision, man, to allow those kids to go home and be with their family.
I appreciate it. You know, the reality of it is there's a reason why family to me is so special. We're not promised anything in this life, right? And so anytime you can go celebrate the holidays with family, you never know who's not going to be there the next year. You know, and if 2020's taught me anything, it's to count every day as a blessing, because you're never quite sure what the next day is going to hold. And for me to make sure that our guys got a chance to go see family over the holidays, that's something they'll always remember. And, you know, again, criticism, that's part of the job. I'm good with it, but I'm really comfortable with my decision to let our guys see their families after they had sacrificed so much. And that's always what our program is going to be about, is making sure these guys are treated first class, also making sure that they understand that their family is important and we view them as a person and not just a product on the football field.
Coach Drake, I'm going to tell you this, man. The recruiting that you did this year, bringing these kids out of St. Louis and the whole Missouri area, you did an outstanding job. And I want to say congratulations to the great recruiting, man. You got the support, our support big time here in St. Louis, man. We finally got somebody who give a damn about our kids, man. And that's Coach Drake. Thank you, Coach. And, man, Happy New Year's and all that good stuff with your family, man. And I look forward to seeing you soon, Coach.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year. I'll be down soon.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, buddy.
That's my man, Coach Drake. I love that dude, man. I love that dude.
All right, see you later, Coach.
I love that dude, man. Coach Drake. Hey, let me tell you something, Lil D. We coming after Alabama. You got all your Alabama stuff on. Well, we got the coach to do it now. He's a young dude. Nick Saban is getting up there in age. He ain't going to be able to call them plays in the next couple years. We're going to be beating Alabama like a drum. The big fella, Demetrius Johnson, the coach, and the Hurricane right back.
If it's happening in our community, we're talking about it. It's the Demetrius Johnson Show on Hot 104.1. In 2020, we didn't let COVID-19 slow down our grind. We marched, protested, and boycotted after the death of George Floyd. We honored Yo Gotti for criminal justice reform with DJs and dignitaries. We hosted the first drive-in concert with Nelly at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. We called on the community to join us for the first Juneteenth Ride for Freedom. We teamed up with the Urban League to give away school supplies and 100,000 masks. We hosted the first car march drive to silence the violence. We teamed up with the Demetrius Johnson Foundation for Trunk or Treat, a canned food drive, and a turkey giveaway. We gave away 5 pairs of Jordans with the 12 Days of J's and paid your car note and rent for the year of 2021 with Big D of HW Kia. If you think we did it big in 2020, just wait until 2021. Happy New Year from Hot 104.1.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Geis. I tried everything to control my anxiety. I mean everything. Nothing worked. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't run my business. Anxiety paralyzed me, aging me terribly. I heard about Mark Patrick anxiety seminars from friends that were successful at Mark Patrick's weight loss and stop smoking seminars. I wasn't skeptical at all because my friends bragged about how easy they stopped smoking with Mark and how easy it was to lose weight. I went to Mark Patrick anxiety seminar and now I always hear Mark's voice in my head. I really love that. My anxiety is gone. I can sleep. I have patience. My life is back. In fact, I'm Supergirl again. I can't believe I just said that. That's right. That's me. I'm Supergirl. Thank you, Mark Patrick Seminars.
Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and eliminate unwanted anxiety, stress, negative thinking, and even panic attacks. Only $49.99 guaranteed, or your money back. The End Anxiety, Stop Smoking, and Weight Loss with Hypnosis seminars will be Saturday, January 16th for the St. Louis area. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online in the comfort and safety of your living room. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed at markpatrickseminars.com.
Coping 19, brought to you by CDC and the Ad Council.
Managing today's uncertainty can be overwhelming. Focus on what you can control, even if it's little things, like your before bedtime ritual.
Find more self-care and coping tips at coping-19.org.
Now through January 7th, join Planet Fitness for no enrollment fee. $10 a month, no commitment. Kick your couch to the curb and break free from 2020 at Planet Fitness with tons of variety in our clean and spacious clubs. And pick the best time to visit with the crowd meter in our app. Your fitness is essential. Join in club or at
Studio WHHL Hazelwood, St. Louis. This is the Demetrius Johnson Show, Hot 104.1. The views expressed on the Demetrius Johnson Show are not necessarily those of WHHL FM.
Welcome back to the Demetrius Johnson, the big fella with the coach and the hurricane. We're going to take some calls a little later on, man, but we got to get our guest out. New Year's on with a good feeling, man. I want to have some good news, and I got my boy. I love this dude here, man. You talking about a cat? I have never met a black man in St. Louis, folks. I'm telling you, this is real talk. That knows hockey, baseball, basketball, football. He can talk to anybody about it. That's my man from KMOX Radio and the voice of the Cardinals. One of the voices of the Cardinals, my boy Mike Claiborne. What up, Mike?
Happy New Year to you and Jeff and everybody else, Coach. I hope everybody's getting off on the right foot.
Happy New Year to you too, man.
Happy New Year, Mike.
Hey, man, look here, man. First of all, what the hell did we see yesterday in the football games, man?
You know what, man? I think it was just more a culmination of total anarchy that we've had all year long. I mean, the fact that these universities were going to force this football season on us no matter what. And this is what happens when coaches have to do work out of their realm. You know, they're all creatures of habit in how they prepare their players. And when you don't have a chance to get on the field and do things, and you have to do it through Zoom meetings and a lot of other little things detail-wise don't get really truly examined, this is what you have. Now, some people might think this is great football. I kind of think it's unfortunate because there's some kids and some coaches that there's certainly be some coaches that won't have a job because of it, and there'll be some kids who will not be perceived as being as good of a player as maybe they could be had they been in a different environment.
We speak with Mike Claiborne. He's with KMOX and the St. Louis Cardinals radio voice. Hey, Mike.
And don't forget ClavesOnline.com.
Yeah, go to ClavesOnline.com. All right, that's my man. You can get him. Hey, check this out, man. Let's get down to business. I have a problem with the Cardinals not bringing my man Colton Wong back. I mean, I love that dude game.
But I don't know if that's, you know what, he's not, that door is not closed completely. There's still some dialogue going on, and I think the biggest example here is they elected not to pick up a $12 million option on his contract. If there was somebody else in baseball that would have done the same thing, he'd already be signed. So basically what they're saying is, you know, $12 million when they did the deal, they thought maybe the market would get to that number as far as players are concerned. It didn't. Multiple teams have had an opportunity to sign him for $12 million or more or anything else, and that offer just isn't out there. So I say all that to say this. The Cardinals and Colton Wong continue to talk, and maybe there's some middle ground where they can find a number or a total value deal that would bring him back to St. Louis.
Speaking with Mike Claiborne.
I hope they do.
Speaking with Mike Claiborne with KMOX Radio and the voice of St. Louis. JC, you got a question. Go ahead.
Mike, Happy New Year.
Same to you, JC.
Hey, we fall in love with Cardinal players all the time. Where are we with Yachty, man? What's going to happen with Yachty?
I think he'll be back. I think when you look at some of the other teams around baseball that have decided they were going to either go with their own people or maybe do a signing like the Mets, they elected to sign John McCann. The Yankees, they are still kind of a wild card team, but they've got a kid in Gary Sanchez who's a really good player who had an awful year. Maybe if they can get him turned around, he'd come a lot cheaper than Yachty, and he's a better hitter. I think the best place for Yachty is here because, A, he's familiar with the pitching staff, B, it's his team. I thought one team that might be interesting would have been San Diego, but, they committed to Victor Caratini in the deal they picked him up from the Chicago Cubs, and Caratini's a really good catcher. So I don't know if he's got that many more options around, JC, that teams are going to be willing to, A, sign him to the money he thinks he's worth. Now, if it's me, what I would look at doing is this. Okay, $20 million is a lot of money for a guy that's 39 years old. Why not give him a legitimate base salary of maybe $12, $14 million, plug in enough incentives where he can get to 20. If he plays X amount of games, if he does this and he does that, then he gets to his 20, including rolling over his contract into next year where he would have guaranteed money in his final year of playing Major League Baseball. That's just what I look at, what I think I would do.
Jeff, I'm sorry.
Hey, Mike, good morning. Good to talk to you again. It seems like
Jeff, good to visit
it on
with
paper.
Jeff and I go back, Jeff, about 30, 35 years. Man, you've had 3 careers since we've known each other. You were radio and TV. You were running the city. Now you're one of the top consultants in the country. This guy's had more careers.
I know, man.
Nobody, and you know what? He's been great at all of them. That's the neat thing about it.
Oh, Mike, come on, man. Don't swallow this dude head up, man. It's hard for me living with him anyway.
It's more like I wear out my welcome, and I got to go do something else.
All right, well, stay where you at, my friend.
All right, well, it's great to talk to you again. You're one of the best, if not the best, in St. Louis, and in large measure because you tell it like it is, even though you're on the broadcast and stuff. It seems like the National League Central in baseball is headed where the Eastern, the Cowboys, Washington, the Eastern Conference of the National Football League, where everybody is rebuilding. Is that the case in the National League Central? Yeah. And if it is that just a coincidence, or is COVID really racking and hurting their bottom line and they got to cut back?
Well, it's a combination of things. And let's start with the elephant in the room, and that's the collective bargaining agreement. After this year, there isn't one set for 2022, so teams are dumping salary now. So when they go into the offseason, they won't have as many contracts on the hook that they normally would. The CBA is huge at this point. The other thing is, if you look at this division, none of these teams have been able to truly develop a minor league system where they've been able to turn out a lot of top prospects. That's come back to haunt all of them, including the Chicago Cubs. So a lot of these teams have elected to sit, in my opinion, sit it out, raise a white flag, call it what you want, and they're going to put an inferior product on the field a lot of nights. It's unfortunate for fans in those cities, but I think a lot of them feel like, hey, if we can get through this year, and you mentioned COVID and them losing money, we think we can be more competitive in 2022. And that might be the case. I don't know. But I think as a fan, it's really disheartening to say, wait a minute, you want me to pay this kind of money for these kind of players? And fortunately in St. Louis, they haven't gone that route. But I will say this, we'll have a different looking roster after this season because we'll have 4 contracts that'll go away: Carpenter, Fowler, Andrew Miller, and perhaps Wainwright. So those are big contracts, and that'll give them even more money to spend wisely. Just because a guy's a free agent doesn't make him an all-star. And I think we have to take that into account. I think we've seen that before where we've overpaid for players, and then when we look around and we realize that this guy isn't that good, well, the only reason why he's on the team is, A, the team he used to play for, I didn't think he was worth the kind of money, and B, he was the best player available because we didn't have anyone better at that time. So it comes into a lot of situations, but our division is one that I think is going to be one that the Cardinals should be very competitive in. The other teams have elected to, in my opinion, take a pass on what they want to do. So it's the Cardinals to win. But you know what, Jeff? To be honest with you, that's nice. But I think we all would rather see them not just win a division, but get in the playoffs, deep into the playoffs, and maybe be in a World Series. I don't know if we don't have that team, though, because we're short in a few areas, especially offense.
JC, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say, Mike, how do you see this season going? Is spring training, you think, and I know this is speculation, but do you think spring training starts on time? Do we have a full 162-game season, and will we have fans in the stands?
Well, first of all, I don't think it'll start on time. And I think what baseball would like to do is move things back a month. More people would have the vaccine. The weather would be better. School will be out sooner, and kids will be able to come to the ballpark. The second thing is the players want to play 162. So here's my solution. Play 7-inning doubleheaders on every Saturday, and that'll make up for the games you didn't play in April. That way you have two gates. 7-inning doubleheaders worked this year, and I think a lot of people think that might be the trend of the future. So you can still get a reasonable amount of games in, but I think the season itself is going to get pushed back. Now, I say that by just using common sense. Nobody told me this is going to happen, but I think if you just stack it up and you say to yourself, well, people don't go out to games as much in April as they normally would. The weather's crappy. And, you know, the fact that players wouldn't have the ample time, especially if they don't have the vaccine, that maybe these guys would opt out in playing. So I just think May is a better time to see baseball the way we would like to see it. And, yes, I do think we'll see fans in the ballpark this year.
JC.
Mike, the Blues opened up training camp today. What are the expectations this year for the St. Louis Blues? Where are they at?
JC, they're good enough to get back to the finals. I think they learned a valuable lesson this year when they got knocked off in the first round because they didn't want to be in the bubble. And I think that it showed. They weren't in shape. I thought they lost interest, and that's why they got sent home in the first round. I think with the addition of Mike Hoffman, I think with the development of some other players, they can be very, very competitive. Now, they come from the toughest conference in sports. The NBA West and the National Hockey League West are the most competitive conferences in our team sports in this country. So, you know, every game counts. You know, the season has been reduced a little bit, so you don't have many off nights. And the way the schedule is set up with travel and how you're going to go into a city, and let's say you're going to play the L.A. Kings, you'll play them twice at the same time. So you'll play the Kings twice in 3 days. You'll play some other teams twice in 4 days, and they're trying to cut down on the travel and then the opportunity for COVID to invade the league again. So it's going to have a different look, but I like what they have. I think their coach is the right guy. If their goaltending stands up like it could, they're going to be pretty good.
We speak with Mike Claiborne, one of the voices of the St. Louis Cardinal baseball and KMOX radio. Hey, Mike, couple more questions. Big Mike told me to ask you about Jordan Hicks coming off of Tommy John surgery.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, he is one of the incredible specimens physically I've ever seen. He's 21 years old, and, I mean, he could play any sport he wants to physically. He's had more than a year to be ready. Because of COVID, he opted out because he has diabetes, and he didn't want to be put in that position. So he's had a lot of rest and development. He's going to come into camp with no restrictions on amount of pitches or any of that stuff. And you know, he hit 104 one time on a radar gun.
Wow.
And I would not be surprised to see him go
104.
104.
Well, that's throwing that rock, man. That's throwing that rock.
He's a big, strong kid. I mean, you know what, fellas, he's still physically developing.
Wow.
And again, I've never seen a specimen like him in any uniform in St. Louis.
Hey, Mike, before I let you go, last question here, man. Tell me what you think about Coach Drinkowitz at the University of Missouri football.
Well, you know what? I think he was the right guy at the right time. His energy, his preparation, his ability to communicate, and I think his ability to think outside the proverbial coaching box, and not just his approach in game planning, but just how he stays in tune with his players. I thought the way he was proactive in things that took place off the field and getting his players engaged in their community in Columbia, if it was nothing more to get people engaged in voting, says a lot about how he has a vision for his players being contributors in whatever community they grow up in. I thought the way he handled some things as far as COVID set him aside from a lot of other coaches who went out and made damn fools of themselves, including the guy down in Florida. Eli Drinkwitz, to me, in my dealings with him, and DJ and Coach, you guys have been around a lot of coaches, but he's a guy that if I sent my kid to Columbia to play football, I think in 4 years I'm going to have a real man that he may not ever play another down, but I know he'll be prepared to deal with the other challenges his life will present.
I know that's right. Mike, if they want to get, if people want to hear you and catch you and find you and follow you, what can they do?
Claibs Online, CLAIBS online.com. We have a number of different podcasts that we run on a regular basis. Different people from different sports. Like I did something with Mike March last week, and he told an incredible story. If you got a second, did you know when they called the play for Isaac Bruce to catch a game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl, that was not scripted? That was not in the game plan. They had not even practiced it that week.
Oh, wow.
And here was his philosophy. If we practice it and succeeded with it once, then you should remember that play for the rest of the season.
I know that's right.
So we have him on. Art Holiday, who just ended an incredible TV career on Channel 5, is going to join me later this week. Paul Westhead, you guys remember him, the head coach at Loyola Marymount. We've got him coming up later this week. And what we try and do with this podcast is talk to people, some of them in this market, but people that you normally don't hear from that might have something interesting to say. And we've had a lot of success with it. Our numbers continue to grow, and we're looking forward to having some really fun things unfold this year. Earl Austin Jr. is going to be doing some stuff with us. We've got Alex Ferrario covering hockey. Joe Roderick is covering some baseball for us. Jay Randolph Jr. handles our golf. So, we've got a pretty good collection of people that make really good contributions to the website and gives our listeners and viewers a chance. And if it wasn't for good people like Ameren, Illinois, and certainly our good friends at Mungenast Toyota and home loan expert Ryan Kelly, these guys have been great sponsors to us, and we continue to put out a good product. So tune in tomorrow. We'll have some good stuff up for you.
Mike Claiborne, it's always good talking to you, big man.
Hey, for all you guys and your listeners and your families, let's have a safe 21, and let's have more fun in 21.
All right, this is my man, Mike Claiborne. Thank you, my man.
All right, you guys take care.
All right, you too. Man, you talking about tough, man. That dude's tough there, man. Yo.
Hey, DJ.
Yeah.
Is there any African-American sports talk person that can talk about any sport at any time other than better than Mike Claiborne?
I don't know, but Jeff, were you outside walking, man?
Yeah.
I mean, you put your mute on, man. I'm hearing all that wind in my ear, man. You irritating our listeners, man. What's up with that, dog? I mean, you out there walking, and he's in Florida somewhere. All right, coming up, y'all, we got my girl, What's Your Take with Taylor, should be coming up shortly. She should be calling in a minute. Hey, so let's go to my girl, Taylor. Hey, good morning, Taylor. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. I'm great. How are you?
Oh, we ready, man. It's time to start this baby off right. 2021, let's go. What's your take?
All right. So there's been a lot of heat lately around our stimulus checks and how much we're receiving. So a couple nights ago, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's house was vandalized. Someone spray painted on his front door, "Where's my money?" And this comes after the block of the $2,000 stimulus check. Many people were, livid that the amount was approved for only $600 compared to the $200 or the $2,000 that even Trump supported. Interestingly enough, later that day after the vandalism happened, both Black Lives Matter supporters and Trump supporters joined forces in front of Mitch McConnell's house protesting the stimulus checks. So this story really leaves me with three questions. One is, what are your thoughts that Black Lives Matter supporters and Trump supporters came together to protest? Two, are all people entitled to stimulus checks, and should people be grateful for whatever amount they received? And three, people often blame Trump for becoming more emboldened with displaying their acts of racism and hatred. Can we also attribute the vandalism of Senate Leader Mitch McConnell's home to Trump culture as well? What is your take?
Oh, hey, Jeff, I'm going to let you start with that one, man.
All right. Well, I won't be able to remember all four questions, so I'll start with my observation.
With stimulus check, blaming
the
Trump.
Stimulus check. So I think on the stimulus check, they should do 2,000, but they should lower the threshold, right? So I think the threshold's pretty high, like $150,000 in a household or something. And I'm fine with that for $600. But for the 2,000, they should have passed it, but lower the family income significantly, which would have been a pretty good compromise. Secondly, yes, President Trump is calling for protests this week when the House and Senate affirm the national election. Anytime anybody, including Republicans, Black Lives Matter, anybody disagrees with him, he goes nuts, and a small number of his followers go nuts. So, yes, I don't know if you can attribute it to him, but he has certainly made the emotional reaction to things a lot worse. Although the person who did the vandalism is still responsible for the vandalism. And third, Josh Hawley, who claims to be a conservative back to 2000, so did AOC. So I think what you're seeing is mirror images of each other, except a racial difference. So you're seeing Josh Hawley, who wants to help working class whites, and AOC, who wants to help working class minorities. They want the same thing, $2,000, but they represent a different group. And I've said on the show before, DJ, that if working class white people and working class black people ever came together, like at the protest outside of McConnell's house, they could actually run the country. I don't see that happening because of racism, but if they did, they'd have a lot of power. So a lot of questions, so I had a lot of statements.
Hey, Taylor, now, I got the stimulus check. I got to blame Trump for the racism. What was the other one?
What are your thoughts that Black Lives Matter supporters and Trump supporters came together to protest?
All right, JC?
Yeah, well, they had the same problems. I mean, you look at the Trump supporters in the rural areas. I mean, I've always said this in politics. I don't know how Trump supporters, particularly poor Trump supporters, think their problems are any different from the poor African American in the city or wherever we live. So I don't get why they think they're so much different. Particularly Trump supporters think they're very much different. So I don't see why that shouldn't be happening. They both need the 2,000.
Yeah. Well, let me say this about the I'm going to go mine in this order. I'm going to go to stimulus check first. I think the stimulus check, yeah, people do need it. I think that's important to do it. However, I guess my question would be this, guys, and I don't really know. What qualifies you for the stimulus check? Is it just anybody can get it? You don't have to work. You don't have to do anything. You just get a stimulus check. Is that how that works? I don't know. Do anybody know?
There's an economic threshold, a household, like wealthy people don't get it, but otherwise everybody gets it. I thought the threshold was $75,000 a person, which means if there's a husband and a wife both working, it's $150,000 household, but I think it's somewhere in that neighborhood. And then, yes, everybody below that threshold gets one.
Now, the check, is it everybody, is the man and the woman get $2,000 a piece, or does it just go $1,000 to one person? Or they both get $2,000 a piece?
I thought it was per person, but
per
I'm not
person?
sure.
Okay. All right. So I can understand, trying to help people out of their situation. I mean, I don't really have that big of a problem with the stimulus check. People need help. I mean, because people really do need help, man. And we got to do that. The other one, blaming Trump for racism, I don't no question about it, because he created that. He created the division. So anything that's going on now is a result of what he did in the past and all the hatred and the division that he spewed for so many months. I mean, that's like it's kind of like a commercial. You run a commercial every day saying the same thing, and it's a subliminal message, and that becomes part of what you see. I mean, you start singing a McDonald's song or the various songs that come on the radio or because you hear it all the time. So Donald Trump has a lot to do with the whole outbreak of this racism movement, and it's just a vulgar opposition some of these racists are taking in this country. When you talk about Black Lives Matter and Trump matters, I guess I'm a piggyback on what JC just said. He made a point. He said this. He said, people, and I'm going to just paraphrase, there are common interests in everybody's lives. You know, there's commonalities that we go work together, regardless of how much I may despise you, how much I may dislike you. There's commonalities that comes along that you say, okay, I'm going to be a part of it and I'm going to support it. So them coming together is, no, like you said, JC, it's no surprise because when it's all said and done, some of these issues that are happening, yeah, does it affect minorities and blacks more? Yeah. However, it affects a lot of these poor white folks just as bad as it affects us. So I can see them coming together and protesting and fighting for it. But what it should tell us that we have so much more in common than not in common. You know, and I don't think we look at it like that, but there's a lot we have in common with one another that we don't have in common. So, but then when you pit poor people together against one another from all races, now you got that, what they say, the crab in the barrel. Everybody's trying to fight to get out of this whole dynamic and situation. So I can see them coming together, and I can see why they're coming together, but I can also see the division that President Trump, as your boy Trump, has put out there in the market. So I understand both parts. That makes sense?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. So one of the things that I wondered when I saw how people were responding to the $600 stimulus check is almost like people are being ungrateful. Do you feel like people?
I can see that. I can see that.
Okay.
I mean, I can see the
Does
people.
That make you feel some kind of way?
Yeah. Well, it makes probably make me feel some kind of way because I work my ass off every day, right? So when you work every day and you go through a lot of trial and tribulations every day, sometimes you get kind of mad when you see people who don't work every day, who ain't putting in the same work that we got to put in to get, to take care of our families and do what we have to do. So I can see you getting that attitude because you sit up here thinking, damn. And I understand how the working class people sometimes feel when there are people who are not working, getting the same benefit I get, and they're not even putting the effort in working. I understand the resentment. I do understand that. And I can feel that big time. You know what? Let me try to take some calls on this one. 444-3099, 444-3099. I can take that. You know what I'm saying, JC? I understand that.
Right. The ability, working. I mean, that's what this country is built on, work ethic. You know what I mean? So, I do see many people attempting to slide through the cracks, to get something that maybe they don't deserve.
No doubt. I mean, they do it all the time, man. I mean, I had a person one time give me some food stamps, right? And ask me, can I go to the store when I'm at the store, get some and use the food stamps, right? So I go to the store with the food stamps. I get up in line. I can't use the damn food stamps. I just couldn't do it. Let me go to a caller. Hello, caller. You on the air?
This is my thing with the stimulus check. You know how we have high schoolers. I didn't get nothing for my high schooler. And, the biggest impact is a child couldn't go to prom. They couldn't walk across that stage. We didn't get anything for our child, for the high schoolers that turned to be 18 years old. So my thing is, yes, I get up and I work hard, and let alone I didn't get any money for that child. And then we send them to college, and then you say, oh, the college students don't get anything as well. They broke as broke, so we're taking care of them. Their home address is our address, let alone they're in college. But when they come back home, their address is our address, and we don't get anything for them either. And they can't work. And they away at college through this impact or at home, and we still don't get anything for them. But we could give a lot of money to these little bitty babies that can't spend it. And then in their household, they got like 4 kids, and they benefit off of that highly, and we don't. So that's the thing with it.
Okay, I can appreciate it, but I can tell you this. I agree and I disagree with you on this one, okay? Let me tell you what I agree. I agree if your kid is still in college, 18 years old, at home, whatever, they should qualify for a stimulus check. I don't understand why not, because they still, although they're young adults, they still are minors to me. You know what I'm saying? Legally they're young adults, okay? I agree with that. But now I have to disagree with you when you talk about the babies, because a lot of times these parents, it's very difficult to take care of these babies. You got 3 or 4 babies, 1 or 2 years old. If these the problem that you should have more with the babies getting it is the mothers being, and I'm not going to say the fathers, because most of the mothers get these checks, right? And I don't want no people saying I'm being socialist and all this stuff they say about it. But let me say this: the problem you got with these parents. Some of these parents, these derelict ass mamas, who ain't no good, would they take that money and spend it on that kid, or would they use it on themselves? That's the concern you need to be.
That's the biggest thing I have right there. You're right. You're 100% right.
That's the problem.
Yes. That's what I wanted to say, but I didn't want to put nobody down.
You can put them down. Hell, we have real talk. About my motto of 2021, real talk. We keeping it real, transparent. Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Let's go right here. Hello, you on the air. What you got? Turn your radio down. Go ahead. What you got? They hung up? All right, but this is what I'm saying. Give me a call on that 444-3099, 444-3099. The problem you got is these old trifling-ass women out here that's going to be spending that money going out, buying clothes on themselves, and ain't going to have no discipline to take care of the family. Then when they run out of money, they want to run around here talking about, well, we ain't got no money. You know, why? Guess why? Because you ain't disciplined enough to take care of your freaking family. That's the key. Go ahead, Taylor.
It always grinds my gears whenever you blame single mothers for actually. It really just pisses me off every single time. Like, where is the root of that? If the black man was in the home, is that like would the same thing happen? I'm just sick of hearing people blame single black mothers when we're not really blaming what happened and blaming why is this happening.
Oh, I like that. You hold on after this. Hold on after this call. We're gonna come back to that. Hello, caller. You on the air?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Talk to me, Playboy.
About that stimulus issue?
Yeah.
What about the homeless people? What they gonna do about them?
Hey, Taylor, somebody got their radio up in the back. I'm hearing background noise, so turn your radio down in the back. Hey, my man, I don't know how can they give a homeless person a check when a homeless person don't have an address?
But he got an ID, a Missouri ID.
Hey, that don't mean anything. They got to have an address, man.
And you got
and then you got to pay taxes. And you got to pay taxes on tax returns.
Oh, okay.
That's the problem. They deposit it directly into your account. So,
yeah, DJ,
thank you, caller. Appreciate
it.
You can take him off, Jay.
Yeah, the reason that this is such a simple program is they wanted to be able to get the money out fast. And if they had a lot of red tape as far as are you eligible, not eligible, they'd have to create a bureaucracy. It would take a while. They wanted to get the money out, not only because people need the money, but they want to, this is supposed to be a stimulus. They want people to spend the money, get it in the economy.
We got a caller. Hey, caller, you on the air. Go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, hey, my name is Jimmy, and unfortunately,
what up, Jimmy?
I don't get the stimulus check.
Why not?
But I have 2 daughters because of my income.
Okay.
But one of the things that I did notice that I have friends that work in different places, and I just came to St. Louis, but people I seen, they're buying designer clothes, going out, spending money on various things when they should really be spending the money on what it's intended for. people don't realize that once the pandemic is over, they still going to have to pay their rent. They're still going to have to catch up their utilities. So, I would advise them to, hey, spend the money for what it's used for. And I don't think the stimulus has a color, just like the coronavirus. Just like everybody is getting it, I would like to see the government, correct the problems to where they're sending the $600 to somebody that's dead or to an account to where it doesn't, where the person doesn't need it. But correct those problems so the money can be really effectively given to the people, that need it.
My man, we're about to go to commercial break. That was an astute call. You know what? I like his call. Hey, I'm going to keep you on, Taylor, because I got to have this conversation with you. You said I'm blaming the single parent, the single mother. We're going to have that conversation. The big fella, the hurricane, the coach, and what's your take with Taylor? Right back.
Show is coming up in minutes. Got an opinion? Call us at 314-969-1041. This is Hot 104.1.
It's the Morning Hustle. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It is the Morning Hustle. Total transparency. We're still slightly hungover from New Year's, but we are looking forward to seeing you all on Monday.
I ain't gonna be able to make it, man. I'm just telling you now.
You barely make it any other day.
And if we don't make it, Angie will.
You know it.
Monday. Wake up and turn up with the Morning Hustle.
Turn me up some.
Rock with it. On Hot 104.1.
It's time to help Hazelwood get healthy. Medical research shows there's a connection between the COVID-19 infection rates seen in school buildings and the rates in the surrounding community. Since the start of the pandemic, the community Hazelwood School District serves has experienced some of the highest infection rates in the state. As a result, buildings were forced to close. The key to returning to face-to-face learning for all students is improving the health of the entire community. With that in mind, Hazelwood School District is asking you to help Hazelwood get healthy by wearing a mask, practicing social distancing, and washing your hands. Those simple steps can help slow the spread of COVID-19. Students miss their friends, teachers, and classrooms. So please, wear a mask, practice social distancing, and wash your hands. COVID-19 is a tough enemy, but we can defeat it by evolving together. To learn more about how you can help Hazelwood get healthy, visit hazelwoodschools.org.
Do you solemnly swear to charge a dime, a whole dime, and nothing but one dime down?
I do.
Then I declare you leader of the dime world at Frank Leda Mitsubishi, and the Frank Leda Automotive Outlet in Bridgeton.
My fellow Americans, ask not what you can do for a dime. Ask what a dime can do for you. Go to yesleda.com because every new Frank Leda Mitsubishi is just one dime down. And there's more.
Our credit stimulus at yesleta.com. If you bring home $350 a week, you could get up to $25,000 in credit.
And all you need is a dime. One dime down.
And you get a lifetime warranty. No charge. Read my lips. It's a crime to pay more than a dime at Frank Leda Mitsubishi and the Frank Leda Automotive Outlet.
In Bridgeton.
YesLeda.com. YesLeta.com.
Dime down negative equity requires bank approval to qualified buyers.
111 Salvage. Engines and trannies starting at $125. 2188 Highway 111, Granite City. 618-931-2644.
If you're a parent or teacher, recognizing stress and trauma's impact on our health is part of the healing process. Reach out for free counseling services 24/7. Call or text 1-800-985-5990 or visit reachformo.org.
Welcome to Virtual Meditation with Shiloh.
Hello?
Today we're working on forgiving ourselves for not knowing the difference between upload and download speeds before getting cable internet.
That's oddly specific.
Repeat after me. I am not my cable internet.
Wait, I don't have cable.
I'm not a bad... If my video calls, more like video stalls.
Hey, Shiloh, there's something...
I will get AT&T fiber.
And I will switch classes until you do.
Slow upload speeds? You're not a bad person. You just need better internet. With 20 times faster upload speeds, AT&T Fiber delivers a faster internet experience than cable. Get AT&T Fiber with no annual contract. Limited availability in select areas. Call 1-877-ONLY-ATT. Check eligibility at att.com/getfiber based on combined internet 1,000 wired up and download capacity versus major cable providers 1 gig service with uploads of 35 megabits per second. Speeds vary, not guaranteed. Restrictions apply.
Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight, stop smoking, or end anxiety for only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. Because of coronavirus, seminar now online, live Saturday, January 16th for the St. Louis area. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Now back to the Demetrius Johnson Show on Hot 104.1.
Oh, welcome back to the Demetrius Johnson Show, the big fella, the hurricane, and the coach, and my girl Taylor with her. I just got a call, and I was been informed before we go to me and you, Taylor. I just got a call, and they told me homeless people does qualify for the stimulus, and they have people out looking for homeless people, I guess, to qualify them to get their stimulus check. And then they also told me that college students do not qualify, qualify, and the income. So what I'm going to do next week, folks, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to track somebody down from the IRS and get them on to talk about it, because they're saying homeless folks do qualify for this check. So I'm gonna work on that.
Hey, DJ, I think when it comes to college students, because I have one. College student. So my daughter, we put her on our tax return. She's a write-off, so she was not eligible. If she was independent, I believe she would be eligible. But because we have her as a dependent, she is not eligible.
Okay, no, I got you. All right, so that's a great point, because if you're writing the dependents off, I can see that happening. All right, let's get back to my girl Taylor. You still there, Taylor?
I'm still here.
Now, you said rubs your crawl to talk about the single woman, right?
Yeah.
But let me. Okay, it burns you up, but it pisses you off. In other words, right?
It does.
Okay, I got you. Well, let me piss you off with this. Let me just make this clear so you can understand. All right, now it was designed for black men to be out of the house. I mean, that would happen. We didn't have no control over that. They came in. And when the during the World War II, they came in with the welfare program. Welfare program was to help white men, not black men. But then within the stipulations, a black man or man, particularly a man, cannot be in the house with the woman. So they took that man out of the house. Okay, we know that happened. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. So now when I talk about some of these trifling ass women, there are some trifling ass men also. There are some derelict-ass men who's not going to take care of their family, not going to help their kid, just trifling, they ain't going to do nothing. They're terrible, too. But when you think about it, you can't have it both ways. You can't have the woman movement without talking about when you talk about now, everything is the woman movement. Oh, the black woman, and I praise and respect black women to the fullest. But do not continue to downplay black men, which has happened in the Black Lives Matter movement, in all these the political office movement. Everything is all about the black woman, and we talked about this a few weeks ago. How it is to I guess minimize the black man that's in these positions. All right. With that saying, when I talk about these trifling ass women, there are more women getting these checks than men. The woman is getting the check.
Why is that?
Because the woman is at home, right?
Right.
With the kid, right?
Right.
But that doesn't sound like. That does not sound like there's some men who want to do the right thing with their kids, and these women hold these men hostage with their kids, and don't allow them to be there. So you can't act like, and when I say this, women, if the woman is in charge, right? You can't be in charge and then don't take responsibility when it's time to take responsibility. So when all these big checks coming into these women, they going out buying clothes, there are women who are responsible. I'm not talking about all women. And it'd be ridiculous for a man to say all women are like that. I'm not saying that. There are some very responsible, hard-working women doing the right thing. But what about the ones who's not? Who's getting a check? Because I guarantee you there's not a lot of men. There's some, but you're going to have the majority of women getting those stimulus checks for the kids than a man. All right.
At what point are we going to stop blaming, the legislation, the system that happened back in the 1960s, 70s that took the man out of the house, that forced him out of the house. At what point are we going to stop blaming that and then get back to traditional values with a family creating kids, a man and a woman, a husband and a wife coming together in one household in child rearing? At what point are we going to do that? Are we going to continue to blame what happened 40 years ago and then blame the black woman for being a single mother and then not know?
Okay, once again, you're missing the point. Once again, when they made it, that law, and a man still can't be in the house and you're on welfare today. So what are you talking about? It happened 40 years ago and it's still happening today. So hold on. So time out. No, time out. So if it's happened 40 years ago and it's still happening today, tell me what has changed in the philosophy.
How can we get ourselves out of poverty?
Oh, so now you sound like when the white folks pull yourself up by your bootstraps when you don't have no damn boots. Now you now you're talking like them white folks pull yourself up by the bootstraps when you don't have boots. Pull yourself up. Get out there. Do it. Forget what happened to you in the past. How the hell can you forget what happened? I've never heard a Jewish person. Hold on, time out. I never heard a Jewish person say, forget about the Holocaust. Won't happen. Won't happen.
Hey DJ, I do want to make a clarification on Jewish people. I do want to make a clarification on Jewish people. They will never forget the Holocaust, but they don't use the Holocaust as an excuse not to succeed. Just the opposite. They assume that the world is against them and that they have to work twice as hard. And
guess what? Hard. They control a lot of the banking systems in this country.
Yes.
You're right. Hold up. Time out. They get the resources. They're able to come together. Because guess what? When you walk in a store, Jeff, or in a bank, you could be Jeff Jones, not Jeff Einstein. You know what I'm saying? You have the ability.
Well, DJ.
Go ahead, JC.
DJ. Here's the parallel. They don't have to pull themselves up by their bootstraps because they own the boot.
No doubt about it. And they make the straps.
Well, I understand. Okay, that's a different issue. Your issue was, or Taylor was saying, why don't we deal with today as today? And I agree with you, DJ. Don't ever forget. But that's my point. And then you said, well, the Jews never forget the Holocaust. They don't. And it certainly informs their politics. But as far as, saying, I'll never succeed because of the Holocaust.
But see, I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong when you think black folks end up here saying they can't succeed. I don't hear a lot of black folks coming in, man, I just can't make it because what they did to me.
You were the one who said, Coach Jeff, how can you pull yourself up by the bootstraps without any boots? That's saying I can't succeed.
But let me say what I got.
No, that's not saying that. That's not saying that.
Right.
That's not saying that.
We're not saying that. We're saying the system is systematically against us, which is not allowing us to succeed when you want to do the right thing. Hey, Jeff, they tell you to go to school. They tell you to get an education. They tell you to stay out of trouble and tell you all this stuff. Then you go and try to get a damn job and you can't get one because you're black.
Or you go try to get a damn loan.
Can't get one because you're black. Oh, those don't happen, though. Go ahead, Taylor. I want you to talk. Go ahead.
Now you're. I guess because you missed it. You're off to a different issue.
No, it's the same.
Was saying
Jeff, the issues are the same.
The black man is not to blame because of policies.
We never said. Hey, Jeff, hold on. Time out, Jeff.
He's saying when can we get past policies?
Jeff,
of 50
time out.
Years ago
You never heard me say that, Jeff. You never heard me once say that black men can't. Oh, black men can't do well. I've done well. What the hell are you talking about? I come out the damn ghetto. I come out the project. JC's done well. Taylor's done well. So what are you talking about? Nobody's ever said that.
That's not even what we're talking about.
Go ahead, Taylor. Hey, man, let me get a line. 444-3099 if you want to get in this conversation.
I completely agree that in order to pull yourself up by your bootstrap, you have to first have a boot. But if you have a boot, and you have resources, there is no reason why you cannot succeed. There's no reason. I understand this is, and I want to note this. I understand that we're not playing a fair game.
Hey, Taylor, we got to call it. Let's go. Let's go to this caller.
Right.
Then.
That doesn't mean that you don't play to your best ability.
Okay, let's go to this caller.
You don't continue to level up.
All right, caller, you on. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah. Hey, so the housing industry, take a look at that. I'm a successful black man, but whenever I went to apply for that loan for that $500,000 house, I was quickly turned down compared to me going to buying a house under, $100,000. No problem. But, whenever I started going up, and because I didn't have my parents that had the strong credit background that, that they could rely on, I'm being denied. So to me, there's the disparity right there. Look at look at a white neighborhood compared to a black neighborhood. It's not that whites don't want to stay with blacks, but, the system keeps us separated.
Okay, caller.
Hey, caller, thank you for the call, my man. Go ahead, Taylor.
My thing is, look.
Hey, Taylor. Hey, Taylor, hold on.
I understand.
Taylor, hold on. You got another caller, so remember what he said, because we're trying to get these callers in so you can get the callers. Okay. Go ahead, caller. You on?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say this shit, man. We got to give much respect to the women, man, and realize this one thing. We don't have women like we had them back in the day, man. The strong women, that strong drive, man, that had that strong supportive gene. Right now, we got a bunch of women right now growing up. They don't have a strong woman influence, man, and we don't have no strong men to guide those women. Man, we're in a messed up situation, man. We're in a lost time, man. We need to just focus on, man, really just trying to realize that we got to do something for these children, man. Everybody keep talking about they want to put money in education. Yet if the school closed, everybody at the schools, how y'all putting money in education, man? Our people lost, man. We forgetting the essence of who we are, man.
Hey, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. Hold on, Taylor. Remember these calls, Taylor. We got another one. Hello, caller. You on the air?
What's up, DJ, man? My comment on this, man, the housing market being overwhelmed and making these females lazy. Like you said, why a man can't go out here and get housing and be able to come up? I think if you're on housing, you're supposed to use it as a stepping stone to grow up.
Okay. I got you, big man. Hey, thanks for your call, man. Hey, Taylor. We got another caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, DJ. Chris Redding here, man. I just wanted to make a comment about the Miss Taylor. And basically my opinion is, the females have the power. If they stop settling for no good, not wanting nothing, black men or white men, whoever they decide to date, then everything will be in a better situation. You want to have a husband and a wife? Stop settling for bums.
I know that's right.
Raise your standards.
I know that's right. Bum-ass men. I agree.
Down by their ankles. And make these young guys court them and respect them and earn that love. Don't just give it away.
Man, that's a great call, man. Thank you for that call. Hey, Taylor, go ahead. I'm going to let you go ahead and address those things, Taylor.
I want to address that last call. I am sick of hearing people go back and forth, okay? If we want to have traditional values where men lead, then men should be leading. It's not about a woman. No. Men should be leading. They should be the ones setting the example, setting the tone. I agree that women should choose which partner they want to entertain, but at the end of the day, it's up to the man to step up and be a man. What happened to men being men and women having to play both roles? And then when we play both roles, we get demonized. We get yelled at. We the ones who, she's too independent. Well, y'all forced us to be too independent. That grinds my gears.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's my girl Taylor with her take. Hey, Taylor, it's always good. Y'all can catch us tomorrow night on Facebook, man, with Taylor and her take. Oh, lock and loaded. The big girl brought the heat. Oh, my goodness.
Taylor.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm getting so angry with that.
The big fella, Demetrius Johnson, the coach, the hurricane, and my girl Taylor with a take. Taylor, thanks.
See y'all next week.
I'll see you. Oh, my God. We're right back.
If it's happening in our community, we're talking about it. It's the Demetrius Johnson Show on Hot 104.1. Before midnight strikes and 2020 turns to 2021,
It's 2020, and as a powerful, responsible man, I always want to be there for my bae, to protect her and hold her down. She's my ride or die, and I want her to be safe and treated with respect at all times. Thrive Express Women's Healthcare understands it's her body and her temple, so she deserves to be educated, supported, and empowered to make the choices she feels comfortable with. I'm her man, and as such, I will always be there for her. I'm very proud of her for loving herself and making women's healthcare a priority. This is a very attractive quality in a 2020 woman. So whether her no-cost pregnancy test is a positive or a negative, I know that the medical staff at Thrive will empower her to make the choice she feels comfortable with. And I'll be right there to support her. If you might be pregnant or just need to know your status, Thrive is on point, and the licensed medical staff is friendly and non-judgmental. Results are confidential. Oh, and insurance is not required. Thrive is always there for our queens with no-cost care. Go to ThriveSt.Louis.org today. It's ThriveSt.Louis.org or text free test to 25827.
I was in need of some money fast, so I decided to visit Americash Loans. I was able to complete my loan application and get my money the same day with loans up to $2,500. Americash Loans was there when I needed them. If you want to get your cash the same day, make sure you have your application completed before 11:30 a.m. Apply today at AmericashLoans.net or call 888-907-4227.
That's remarkable. Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis.
Show on Hot 104.1.
Hey, now walk it out.
Welcome back to the Demetrius Johnson, the big fella, the coach, and the hurricane. Hey, man, let me read something I just got on my email from my man Leon. Leon says, listen to the last 10 minutes of the live show, and no offense, DJ, as a Jewish American, I'm about to turn it off. Come on, man. Love you. But hate is not needed. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon. I grew up in Indian Meadows where color wasn't part of our issue and still isn't race, and religion isn't a part of it. Keep it positive, big fella. Look forward to bumping into you, okay? All right. I do frequently listen to the show. Got nothing but love for you, big fella. Hey, let me say this, okay? See, what you guys consider, and I'm going to go to a call in a minute, but what you guys consider, Leon, let me tell you something, man. What you consider me being racist and negative, we talk about what the realities of our lives are. See, and that's the problem, Leon. If you can't listen to me, I'm not saying agree with me. You don't have to agree with nothing I just said. But I think you owe it to me to listen and see what we're saying. And if you can't do that, then I'm sorry, don't listen, man. And we still be boys. We'll still bump into one another. But I'm telling you, I'm going to say what I need to say. And when I have to say it. And that's the reality, because you don't see racism. We see it every single day of our lives. Let me go back to the phone call. Hello, caller, you on, man?
Hi, big fella.
Talk to me, boss.
This is the guy that just called about being homeless.
Yes.
I've been homeless since August, man, and I'm standing down here in this pickup truck, this van and pickup truck, and I wanted to know how could I get the stimulus check.
Well, you know what, man? What I'm going to do, man, you don't have no phone. Do you have a number we can call you? We can get your number off the air. Can we do that?
Yes, sir.
But I don't want to give you a number to everybody over the air, man. So what I'm going to do, as soon as we go off, call back so I can get your number, and I'm going to call you, and I'm going to see what we can do to help you, man.
Okay, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, my man. Appreciate it. Thanks. Okay. Let's go to the next call. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning, DJ.
Talk to me.
Happy New Year. I'm calling because I'd like to say that this capitalist society was not designed for blacks to succeed. We have built this country on every corner of the earth, of the planet, and everyone still tells us to pull ourselves from the wayside. I don't know how we can pull ourselves from the wayside when it's not designed for us to pull our pants up. We've done everything we could. We have gotten along. We've done everything. We have built the country, the whole world. So again, when people are talking about us blacks, and while we're not doing this, it's a capitalist society that we all see is playing out right now in front of our eyes with Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And I know now we got 56 new billionaires, and we know they're not black. We got 56 new billionaires in a pandemic. Pander that. Have a great day,
right.
DJ.
Thank you so much for your call. 56 new billionaires? I can tell you who's not one of them. I don't know about y'all, but I can tell you who's not one of them billionaires. Hey, man, we got a couple more minutes before we get out of here. Jeff, just summarize our conversation, Jeff.
Well, I read, maybe this can be influenced by the fact that I read a story in the New York Times today about inner city Cleveland and how hopeless it sounds. And in 2016, 17, 18, 19, and 20, we have talked ad nauseum about what the problems are. I would like to see us in 21 start talking about what we can do about it to make it better, because I don't see that since Michael Brown, things have gotten any better. And if you read this story about Cleveland, you might as well have just penciled out Cleveland, put St. Louis, Detroit, Newark, or a host of other places, because, it was just awful. You're talking about the violence in 2020, COVID in 2020, despair in 2020, fear in 2020. Maybe in 2021 we can figure out, even if it's slow, can we start making some progress?
Hey, Jeff, before we go, give me your New Year's resolution.
Well, I don't really make them, but I'll make this one because I said it last week, to do more to help other people in following your leadership on that.
All right, JC, real quick.
Hey, kind of following you, DJ, man. Just want to be healthy mentally and physically, man, in the new year.
All right, you want to summarize the show real quick?
Oh, great show, man. Great topics, man. It's a great show coming into right into 2021, man. And we look forward to people continuing to listen to us each and every Sunday, man. So great topics and great callers today.
All right, well, let me say this, man. I want to say I don't take this for granted. I want everybody to understand this. I am thankful and blessed to be on the airway every Sunday. And you can catch me Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, too, live on my Facebook, right? I'm not unaware of this great and honor that God has bestowed me and working at the radio station and being on the airway. Because, there's millions of people in this country, and I'm one of the few that have the ability to be on the air. I don't take that for granted no Sundays. When we come on, we do our best to give you the best information and the best shows. We're very opinionated, and what we kind of try to do, man, is keep it real. We don't make no script, and I got to give our guys over credit. D, our program director, and Lil D and Nate Dixon. Those guys have allowed me to speak my piece and have a voice in this community, because there's so many stations would not let us have our voice and say what we got to say without being scripted. Okay? I am thankful for that. And you ain't going to agree with me every Sunday. You ain't going to agree with me every day, and that's fine. We can have our disagreements. We're going to continue to have our disagreements. But one thing I'm going to do is let you speak your mind. As long as you ain't cursing me out, I ain't cursing you out, we good. You can call me an idiot. I can call you an idiot. So I can call you stupid, you can call me stupid. That's fine. I don't take that stuff personal. When I leave here today, I don't take it personal. Only thing I take personal in my life is this: making sure I was able to provide my family with a good upbringing and give them all the necessities that they need to be successful. Because the worst thing a black man, I'm going to say a black man can do, is leave this earth and not have his kids prepared to keep moving forward. That's the worst thing a black man can do. And Taylor, I appreciate your take, because one thing you do, you have some very interesting takes. And let me say this: my mother raised me and my brothers and sisters by herself. So do you think I have any problem with a woman? Hell no, because she was my mama, she was my daddy, she was everything to me. And God rest her soul. So I'm telling you, when I have my opinions, I have it. You don't like it, you don't have to like it. But I appreciate you listening every Sunday. I don't take it for granted. Make sure you listen to us tomorrow night, starting at 6 to 8 on the Demetrius Johnson page. We're going to keep it real, and I love the dialogue. Thanks, everybody, for listening to me every Sunday. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to let me come into your life. I'm out. I'll see you next Sunday. I'm gone.
Sometimes it's very hard to see. Live this whole life every day. Some things don't go your way. But to be without is not his will. It's kind of on above and his.
Live from the Planet Fitness Studio.